We're in Acts chapter 24 today, and continuing Paul's, not really a trial, but I guess today is a trial. Paul has been taken to Felix, the governor, the Roman leader of that region, and the Jews have come now to present their case. Says Ananias, the high priest, and they have a spokesperson, Tertullus. Kind of think of an attorney type of person. And Tertullus lays out his case against Paul to Felix and starts out with praise. It's kind of, I'm going to butter the bread before I give you my case and make you feel good. So starts out with praise for Felix and lays out a case against Paul that he says he's stirred up riots. He's a leader of a sect of the Nazarenes, and then he's profaned the temple. Paul then gets to reply, and I get a kick out of it. It says, I cheerfully make my defense. So Paul is thankful that he gets to state what he gets to say, and he refutes the riot aspect by saying, I've been here 12 days. 12 days I showed up to worship, and there was no dispute at all. And then he goes on just to basically say, I believe what the Jews believe. I worship the God of our fathers, believing everything laid down by the law and written by the prophets. And then goes on to talk about the resurrection. So he's making it clear that, hey, I believe in the exact same thing as the Jews, and does not really bring Jesus into this, and says basically it is with respect to the resurrection of the dead that I'm on trial. And because he brought that up in the previous chapter with the Pharisees and Sadducees together, and that's what caused the disturbance. He refers to these Jews from Asia that were not there, and Paul is saying they really truly should be here. If they're going to lay a claim against me, they should be the ones here doing that. So there is really no case against Paul. There's no evidence against Paul. And Felix, he knows about, it says, having accurate knowledge of the way in verse 22, puts him off and says, when Lysias, the tribune, comes down, I'll decide your case. The tribune, it talked about a couple times in the previous chapters. Felix is looking at this tribune as someone that would be impartial and could give accurate news. But then Felix brings his wife, Drusilla, who was a Jewish lady, brought her down, saw Paul, and Paul preached to them and shared, talked about righteousness in verse 25, self-control, and the coming judgment. And upon hearing about the coming judgment, it says that Felix was alarmed. And some translations say Felix trembled and sends Paul away until he says, I will summon you. And it goes on to say Felix was hoping for money. He was not, he trembled, he was afraid, he did not give his life over to Christ, but he knew this message was fearful. This coming judgment was fearful for him. But he kept calling on Paul because he wanted money. And it said when 2 years had elapsed, Felix was succeeded by Porcius Festus. So a new governor is in place. And Paul has been in prison this whole time, but with liberty. It said he's been able to have people come, people attend to his needs, maybe have some freedom to go back and forth and stuff. So these 2 years, it is, some people think that Paul wrote Colossians, Ephesians, Philemon, Philippians, and 2 Timothy during this time while he was in prison. So Paul utilized his time there for good and wrote letters. And tomorrow we will see that Paul will appeal his case on up the chain, on up to Caesar. So I hope you have a great day. Tomorrow it'll be Monday when I'm back on here. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And yeah, again, if God's speaking to you as you read and you want to share with what you're learning, I'd love for you to do that in our comments. So God bless.